Live only on GMA this morning.
Breaking news, ISIS claiming responsibility for a deadly attack on Save the Children. Gunmen stormed the building overseas. And major new developments in the Russia investigation. The special counsel closing in, now seeking to question President Trump after interviewing Attorney General Jeff Sessions and several cabinet members. And the new report, did the president ask a top FBI official who he voted for?
Flu emergency. Hospitals overwhelmed, canceling surgeries to make way for flu patients. Now, could you avoid the doctor's office and get your diagnosis and prescription from home just using your phone?
And King James, his major milestone overnight. What was he just crowned the youngest player ever to do?
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. Robin, I am going to answer your question. The youngest player to hit 30,000 points, right there.
LeBron James. That was an easy one, right?
You can't beat that. No. And to celebrate it, he actually posted a message to himself that included this throwback photo, a young LeBron James right there. I'm going to tell you what he said in his message. He wrote a message to himself. He actually put it out before the game, before he accomplished the feat.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you, right?
Amen to you both. That is ahead, but first we want to get the latest on that deadly shooting at a Kentucky high school. 2 students killed, 18 injured. At least 3 are in critical condition. A 15-year-old student is in custody this morning, and Steve Osunsami is on the scene for us there in Benton, Kentucky, where a community, we're all searching for answers this morning. Steve, good morning.
Good morning to you, Robin. Police aren't saying much at this point about this or an adult.
At vigils overnight, students cried and prayed for the friends who are hurt and the 2 they lost. There will be no school here today. This is a crime scene this morning. 2 students are dead and more than a dozen wounded.
If you can respond to Marshall County High School. Marshall County High School, active shooter. 4 people down, 1 unresponsive. The shooter still on site.
There were more than 100 teenagers who were waiting in a common area before class, eating breakfast and chatting with friends when police say a 15-year-old student with a handgun started shooting. Kids started running, some with gunshot wounds.
I took out my headphones and turned around, and everyone was just broken up. They were running. I saw the flashes from the gunshots, and by that time I was just running.
15-year-old Bailey Holt died at the scene. The first responder who found her thought she was his daughter.
One of our first troopers to arrive on the scene saw the young lady that died there on the scene and thought it was his daughter, because she had been dropped off at the school this morning as well. Same clothing description, same description. And he had to go over to convince himself that that was not his daughter.
The most seriously hurt were airlifted to a hospital in Nashville. 15-year-old Preston Cope was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Several of the patients came intubated already, meaning they had a tube already in there helping them breathe. They were awake but sedated. And so when this happens to you, everything shuts down. And it's going to take a long time to heal, both physically and mentally, from these kind of issues for these kids.
Police arrested a 15-year-old now charged with murder and attempted murder. Investigators have visited his home and talked with his family, but aren't sharing what they think led up to the shooting.
The entrances to the school here are blocked off this morning. Investigators tell us they expect to be here all day. There were many, many witnesses inside the school. This is a small town. Just about everyone here knows who this student is and his story. Robin?
We're going to talk to one of those students, Steve. Thank you very much for joining us now. One who survived that shooting is Bryson Conkright. And Bryson, thank you very much for being with us this morning. I know a bullet grazed your hand. Bryson, how are you doing this morning?
Well, I mean, I'm doing a lot better than I was yesterday, which yesterday was a lot more shocking than it was today. But by now, everybody's had a little more time to process stuff. But we still will never have the answers to this. It's hard. Yes, can only imagine. Please tell us what you saw, what happened when you knew something was going wrong. Well, I was kind of standing to the group. I was a little bit to the side. I was basically in the group, and like, I see this kid walk up, I didn't pay that much attention to it, and I turned back, and he draws a gun out from his side, and I'm like, I didn't know I didn't really know what to think at all. And I see this kid draw out this gun, and he just points it, and by that time, I still haven't processed, and about the time he pulled the trigger, it hit me that this kid's he's shooting at us. He's shooting at us, and I was just sitting there in shock, and I'm watching my friends and people that I've known forever some people just dropped, and it was unbelievable. It was chaos. Everybody was screaming. Everybody was running out. It was crazy.
Well, of course, we extend our condolences to the families, those who lost their lives, those who are injured. We know some are in critical condition, and as you said, it's a small community, tight-knit. What can you tell us about those that were injured and lost their lives yesterday?
I'll tell you, my honest opinion on it is everybody in that group, they literally wouldn't hurt a fly. The ones that lost their lives, they were probably the nicest people I ever met, and they never had anything negative to say. Like they always had a smile on their face. And Gage, the one that got injured pretty bad, he's a good buddy of mine, and he was always so hyped up and happy, and just I mean, you could see him over there. He was always his happy self, and then in a split, it all changed. It was crazy.
And Bryson, we're not revealing the name of the shooter right now, and we don't know the motive and don't want to talk about that. Tell us about your school. Tell us about your community. Give us a sense of what it's like there.
Well, we're very, I don't know, like, this is a great school. Like, I would never expected anything to happen. We have a great tech center. Everybody loves each other here, and just to see something like this happen, it's gonna hit the history books and it will never be forgotten, and it's unreal. Never in a million years I'd expect this to happen in Marshall County.
Well, Bryson, thank you, and we're thinking of you and everyone there. You're in our prayers, and I know that you all are getting the help that you need to be able to process something like this. But thank you very much, Bryson. Take care.
I appreciate it.
All right. George?
Okay, Robin, thanks. We're going to switch gears now, get the latest on the Russia investigation here with our chief White House correspondent, John Karl, our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, Megan McCain from The View. And John, let me start out. We just got some news breaking right now, learning that Rick Gates, a top Trump campaign aide who has already been charged by Robert Mueller, has now hired a new attorney to hold discussions with Mueller's team. This attorney has a track record of negotiating plea agreements.
This is a potentially big deal, George, because Rick Gates was a very key player on the Trump campaign. Of course, very close to Paul Manafort, but he stayed at the campaign after Manafort left, close to Jared Kushner, close to Tom Barrack, another one of the president's key advisors. If he goes state's witness, that could be a game changer.
Mueller moving step by step.
Yeah, and this is something that I think many have suspected, because there's been a little bit of a difference in the way federal prosecutors have been dealing with Manafort and Gates, leading many to suspect that maybe there were some ongoing considerations, possibly discussions going on with Gates that have not been going on with Manafort.
Going to keep a close eye on this. Meanwhile, we've also learned, John, that Mueller has interviewed the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, and several other cabinet members, the director of the CIA, director of National Intelligence, former director of the National Security Agency. He is moving closer and closer to the president.
And we also know that Mueller's team has made it clear they want to talk to the president directly about the firings of James Comey and Michael Flynn. And the key fact here is he has now interviewed, we know, key members of the Trump inner circle in his cabinet.
After news broke that Mueller's investigation has reached into the president's cabinet, the president said he isn't worried in the least.
Mr. President, are you concerned about what the Attorney General told the special counsel?
No, I'm not at all concerned. Not at all.
Attorney General Sessions was questioned by the special counsel's team for hours, nearly a year after he told lawmakers at his confirmation hearing that he had no contact with the Russians when he was senior advisor to the Trump campaign.
And I didn't not have communications with the Russians.
That turned out to be untrue. he had met with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. After that became public, Sessions, citing his senior role in the Trump campaign, announced that he would not be overseeing the Russia investigation.
Therefore, I have recused myself.
Sources familiar with Sessions' appearance before the special counsel tell ABC News that Sessions was questioned about his conversations with the ambassador and about the firing of former FBI Director James Comey. Comey himself has been interviewed by the special counsel's team. Comey's interview focused on the memos he wrote after he said the president asked him to take a pledge of loyalty. Last June, the president said he was more than willing to discuss that meeting with the special counsel himself.
So if Robert Mueller wanted to speak with you about that,
I would be glad to tell him exactly what I just told you, Joe.
It's unclear whether the president's offer, which he said 100% he'd be willing to do that, still stands. People close to the president have urged him to fight the special counsel's request for a sworn interview. Meanwhile, we've learned that last year the president lashed out at Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, demanding to know, George, who he voted for. McCabe said that he actually didn't vote in the presidential election.
Echoes of the questions he was reported to have asked James Comey about would he be loyal to him as well, the former FBI director. Let me start with Dan again. Dan, we now see the interviews that Robert Mueller has conducted so far. The whole question of the interview with the president now on the table, and you still see some on the president's team, according to this reporting, thinking about negotiating written questions. That's not going to fly with Mueller.
Well, no, and so what the president would like is probably written only or no questions at all. But his team would certainly say, look, send us your questions. We'll be happy to answer them in writing, and therefore the lawyers can look at them and they can edit it, etc. What Mueller's team wants is a full, no limits, no holds barred interview where they can talk about anything they want. The question is going to be, can they work out something in between? Are they going to be able to work out something where they can ask him certain things and they'll answer other questions in writing? I don't think Mueller's team is going to go for that. And that's where you have the potential showdown. That's where you have, if they can't reach a deal, you have the possibility that the president then gets subpoenaed to testify in front of a grand jury, and his response may be, I'm just not coming. I'm not going to go to the grand jury. You don't have that power to do that. And then you have a really interesting legal showdown.
Of course, then there are precedents of President Clinton going to the grand jury 20 years ago. Meantime, Megan, you see President Trump and his allies on Capitol Hill putting more and more pressure on the FBI and Mueller.
Yeah, I think we need to be really careful going into midterm elections with the implications that possibly Republicans think anything that happens in this investigation is okay. What's interesting to me is Sarah Huckabee Sanders coming out yesterday saying Americans don't care about this. This is a nothing burger. The problem is every time we're told it's a nothing burger, another tentacle on this octopus comes out and more and more information is revealed. And I actually do think the average American, even the Trumpiest Trump voter, does want to know exactly what happened in this investigation. And I think we have to be as clear and transparent as possible. And I think the idea that anyone taking cover or giving cover to this president at this point, if he did in fact have the kind of interactions with Russia and Ambassador Kislyak that are being propositioned right here, could possibly be incredibly lethal, especially if you talk about like primetime television with President Trump testifying in front of Congress. You want to talk about getting off message and getting off policy-wise where we need to be, it will be lethal.
I would say the one thing we know for sure is that we don't know everything Mueller knows.
True.
That is certain. No question about that. Much more to come. Let's go over to Michael.
All right, thank you, George. And now to those flooding fears in the Northeast. Ice jams are forming in the Connecticut River, clogging that river up. You can see them forming in this image from space. ABC's Gio Benitez is in East Haddam, Connecticut, where they're facing flooding warnings. Good morning, Gio. What's going on?
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. Listen, this is just not what we're used to seeing in Connecticut, okay? In fact, lifelong residents tell me they've never seen anything quite like this. I want you to look right now at our live drone cam, because what I want you to see is that this just goes on for miles and miles. It just goes on for 6 miles, in fact, all the way into another town. That's just how far it goes. And I want to just take that drone up a little bit so you can see how far this goes down. This is the Connecticut River, and right now it just looks much more like the Arctic. I want you to take a look at this video right now, because here's what's such a danger. these ice jams, they're just so intense that the water actually started flowing backwards at one point in some parts, flooding some areas on the way back. And I want you to take a look at another piece of video, okay? Because here in Connecticut, the Coast Guard has been sending out these ice cutters, but you can just see the trouble they've had here. In fact, some of the cutters have actually gotten stuck, so now we're seeing cutters coming in from places like New York. They're coming in from other states just to help out. So really, Michael, there's just no telling how long it's going to take to fix this problem.
Well, some incredible video from that drone, Gio. And temperatures were a little warmer yesterday. So did that help out at all?
You know, it helped a little bit, but the problem here is that starting right now, the temperatures are going to start dropping. In fact, it's going to be below freezing very, very soon. So people are really worried about a refreeze here.
Oh, thank you very much, Gio. And boy, I can't believe it's in Connecticut.
All my years of living in Connecticut, never have seen anything like that. Okay, thank you, Michael. Now to a dramatic day in court. Larry Nassar, the Team USA gymnastics doctor convicted of sexual assault, is set to be sentenced as a new investigation gets underway. ABC's Lindsay Davis is outside the courthouse in Lansing, Michigan. Lindsay, we have seen such emotional testimony from the victims.
Good morning to you, Robin. You're exactly right. Some really heart-wrenching testimony over the past week. More than 150 women and girls lashing out not only at Larry Nassar, but the people and institutions who say who they say protected and enabled him. And while many are awaiting today's sentencing, the judge has already made it very clear that freedom for Nassar will never be an option. The former doctor for USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University has pled guilty to multiple sex crimes, and now the NCAA has announced they will begin an investigation of MSU for potential rule violations related to sexual assaults of student athletes spanning 2 decades. Now, Nassar has already been sentenced to 60 years for child pornography. Now, today, he faces an additional 40 to 125 years behind bars, Robin.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. And as you said, he will not know freedom ever again. Thank you, Lindsay.
And we're going to switch gears now to the major milestone for King James. Yes, LeBron James celebrating another crowning achievement, hitting the 30,000 points mark last night with that basket you just saw right there. 30,000. Got there really fast. Youngest player to ever do it. And he is the 7th player to ever do it as well. And he's joining that exclusive club that includes Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But James, he was the first one to actually congratulate himself. He posted this picture of himself back in school, on high school. He posted it on Instagram before the game even started. And with the post, he said, you know what? I want to be one of the first to congratulate you on this accomplishment tonight that you'll reach, as paraphrased. So there are only 6 seats at the table. Another's going to be pulled up for you. You should be proud of yourself. And he went on to want to thank everybody. Said he's not going to get a chance to thank later. But I got to say, he has confidence in himself to post that post before he actually went out and scored the points he needed.
I love the picture from Akron, Ohio, when he was in high school there. My mom's hometown.
He was a huge star then. Scored a ginger.
And let's do this. Let's look at the dozens of schools closed from Indianapolis area all the way up to Chicago. It is a sheet of ice along the roads thanks to freezing rain that's falling, so please be careful this morning. And we are going to go through a little roller coaster of temperatures here on the East Coast. I'll talk about that more, but first let's get to the sunny cities, brought to you by Procter & Gamble.
Jimmy's gotten used to his whole room smelling like sweaty odors. Yep, he's gone nose blind. He thinks it smells fine, but his mom smells this. Luckily, there's Febreze Fabric Refresher for all the things you can't wash. It finds odors trapped in fabrics and washes them away as it dries. And try Pluggable Febreze to continuously eliminate odors for up to 45 days of freshness. Pluggable Febreze and Fabric Refresher. 2 more ways to breathe.
Oh, you'll need the coat stepping out the door this morning. Temperatures way down. Will be some 20 degrees cooler today. Mid to upper 40s, your high temperature later today, with a few clouds drifting through and a little bit of a breeze too out of the northwest. Now this weekend will be much warmer. Your best day to get out is going to be Saturday. Delightful conditions. We're tracking the next weather maker Sunday. Look for showers from the morning right through the afternoon. Fairly light though within early part of next week and the first part of February. Highs in the mid 40s.
Coming up, a new way to fight the flu without going to the doctor's office. Come on back.
Running a business is not for the